Make your move, but don't overthink it. That's the message from the moon. This Aries first quarter we have happening December 27th. It is our last major moon phase of 2025, and just like last week's new moon, this one is a little feisty and a little fun. I am super excited to get into it. But first, I'm Laura Custo, and this is the Moon Method. Every week, I break down the best way to use the universal energies above based on the larger 9-month patterns around the current moon phase. So if you haven't yet, go grab my free guide. It's called the Moon Phase Compass. It's full of simple foundational knowledge that you can use forever to work with the moon's energy and its repeatable monthly cycle. Go ahead and find that at lauracusto.com/guide. There'll be a link for that at the top of the show notes. All right, first quarter moon in Aries. As always, I have 4 steps. And we're going to start first, as always, with our energy. So let's talk about Aries a bit here, shall we? Aries is feisty fire energy, all right? It starts the zodiac. It's the start of spring. We are not in the start of spring. It's making a 90-degree angle with the sun, and that means we are exactly 1 season away from the start of spring. So more about Aries. It wants to be first. It doesn't necessarily focus on winning, right? But it wants to be the first one out of those starting blocks, okay? So that's a little bit more about that Aries energy. It's kind of like that ready, fire, oh, I forgot to aim, right? That's the kind of energy we're dealing with here. Now, a first quarter is all about taking action, so keep this in mind. Aries first quarters are prone to being powerful. Now, if you're more relaxed most of the time, that's a good thing. It'll probably light a little fire. But if you are already a mover and a shaker, temper it down a bit, okay? But like I said, we also don't want to overthink this. So most of all, this is a really great way to put on the bow that we need here in this first step. Bring it back to your highest good and the good of all. With this energy, we always want to be positive. So figuring out how to work with the energy is all about finding that sweet spot, right? That slot of magic where what opportunities are in front of you align with what you want. And it's a full body yes. Okay, step 2. Let's talk about the facts around this energy. Okay, the first quarter is a time when we water our seeds, right? It's a time when we nurture the goals that we set back on that new moon. And the new moon that was happening at the same degree in the sky as this Aries first quarter would have been back in March 29, 2025. Now, this new moon back in March was also a partial eclipse. Eclipses are really just big new moons. And with that particular eclipse, my notes literally said, force your hand. So there could have been a dynamic around that going on. When you look back at what was going on, if you set some intentions, great, you want to reference those. If you didn't, you want to look in your calendar, sent and received emails, take a look at your photos in your camera, just get a sense of what was going on and get a sense of, again, what energy you were in. Okay, we're going back to step 1 here, right? Were you feeling good? Were you high vibration? Were you positive? Was that truly authentic through your entire being? Were you putting on a show? Were you faking it a little bit? It all matters, okay? I want to get a sense, again, what was going on back at the end of March. Now, the other thing that we want to do in terms of gathering our facts is understanding the area of life that Aries represents, because we have 12 different areas of life represented by our chart, and Aries represents just one. So if you do know your chart and you can figure it out, you've done a little astrology, go grab your chart. Find out, does Aries represent, say, your money or your love life or your health or your career, all right? Then you know what area of life you want to zone in on as you're taking action. If you don't, I have 2 ways I can help you. The first is through my short course called Moon Map. You can find that at lauracusto.com/map. It's a short course and it'll guide you to get what I call your map. It'll show you what area of life Aries represents, but it'll also give you every single zodiac sign. So every update I do, or anytime you want to know, a planet is in a certain sign, you can look at your map and you'll know what area of life that is lighting up, let's say, for you. The second way I can help you is through my monthly membership called Moon Chat. Now, Moon Chat is this sort of, I give you custom messages right when you need them kind of membership, right? I customize everything that you get. You get it 2 days before the phase. It's spoon-fed right to you. So you can find that at lauracusto.com/membership. All right. So to put a bow on step 2 here, we are now locked into the energy from step 1, and we are oriented towards the fact that we are being called to nurture a goal that we set back at the end of March of this year. And we've perhaps also honed in on that area of life, right? Now, step 3, the meaning behind the energy. So here's where we dig into what the other planets are doing and what it means for us here at this first quarter and how we take action. So again, we're going to dig into the message from the moon here and why it is what it is. It's make your move, but don't overthink it. Well, why is that? All right, well, I'm going to look back to that new moon for some clues because they're linked, right? If the Aries new moon is happening here, the first quarter is also happening there. So we can always reference that point in the sky and that time. So back at that new moon eclipse, we had themes of responsibility, working harmoniously with unexpected surprises. What that means is breaking free of your old status quo and setting new dreams for yourself that were also responsible. They felt responsible for you. That was easier to do at that new moon. Because again, planet of responsibility, Saturn, was making what we call a sextile to Uranus, which is the planet of the unexpected, but it's harmonious. Now, there was also a lot of reflection energy going on. Mercury was retrograde and so was Venus. So together, and they were very, very close in the sky. So together, it meant that they were reviewing things, thinking back over, that's Mercury, and specifically thinking back over relationships with those you love, friends and partners, along with just anything you feel love towards, questioning your values. Venus is also values. So it could have set some bold new intentions. This energy, it could have prompted you to set some bold new intentions that were both grounded and responsible, but also a break from what people typically expect of you or how you have historically operated. And as you did it, you were analyzing your thoughts around what you loved, how you love, who you love, your love relationships, and your values. And now here we are. It's the time to take action on all of that. Well, I have good news for you. Saturn and Uranus, that responsibility and unexpected, they are still supportive of that. All right? They are still in that harmonious angle. They don't move very fast, and they've had some retrograde motion, which basically means they've kind of been doing this, but they're still kind of right where they were. But Venus and Mars are different. They are now moving direct. They're moving forward. So they're not going over things anymore. They are moving ahead, which is good news. It's a good time to make sure that we're going to move our dreams along. Now, Venus, along with Mars, is with the sun. Its intention, those three elements, the Venus, Sun, and Mars, they are in tension with the moon, which sounds a little not so good, but it's actually very good. Tension is great on the first quarter, and we always get it with the sun and the moon. That's the definition of a first quarter. But it's this friction now between our sense of self, which is the sun, and our emotions, which is the moon. But now we bring in Mars, which is our desire to do something about it. Mars always wants to act. And Venus, again, back to that love and values. So this is amazing energy to make your move. That's where we get that first part of the message, make your move. But don't overthink it. Now, where's that coming from? Well, that's Mercury, all right? Mercury, our friend, is in Sagittarius, which is a super fun sign. But Mercury in Sagittarius makes it hard to focus. It's like all over the place. Sagittarius energy is big. It wants to explore. It wants to see everything. I'm here and the grass is so green, but it looks greener over there, right? That is Sagittarius energy. A fun analogy here. I had a dog. It was my first adult dog, as I will call him. And his name was Lucky. He was a Cavachon, this white, fluffy, adorable dog who didn't shed. He was part Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, though. And Spaniel breeds want to hunt, even if they're not hunting dogs, which my dog was definitely not a hunting dog. But Lucky could hear a squirrel in the next town over, okay? That was where his senses were at. And he was unstoppable. If he heard a squirrel, he was on it. But if there were many squirrels, we were in the woods somewhere, he would just end up running around like crazy. It was adorable, but it's not what we want to be doing in life, let alone during a first quarter week when we're supposed to be moving our life in a positive direction. So Mercury here is your warning, all right? Don't overthink it. In Sagittarius, it will overthink if you let it. So your mind might want to start chasing squirrels. And if you find that you are, just laugh and say, oh, Mercury, you poor thing in Sagittarius. All right, I've got what I need from you, right? Because you're always gonna analyze what you're doing to some degree, but now you're gonna catch yourself. I'm overthinking, and I'm gonna let Venus, Mars, and the Sun lead the way here, okay? So that brings me to step 4. We're gonna take action. Now, you'll know you have figured out exactly what to do when you're able to find a sense of peace about it. The angle of tension between that grouping of the Sun, Mars, and Venus, and then the Moon, well, again, those first 3, Sun, Mars, Venus, they will want to act. But to find that peace, to calm that angle of tension with the Moon, I want to encourage you to lean into what lights you up. So think about what makes you feel love. Let's start with Venus. That's super easy. What makes you feel love? What values really light you up? And how about movements you love? Movement is Mars, love is Venus, and make you feel like more of yourself, more authentic. That's the Sun. Okay, movement that you love to feel that makes you feel like more of yourself. That's a great combo of all this energy. So go do something that makes you feel that way, whether it's a yoga class or going for a run or just stretching or basking in the sunlight. But get out of your Mercury head. All right, that wandering Mercury. And move, that's the thing, moving your body is what's gonna help you come up with the best action here that feels the best. Feels the best, that's what you're looking for. It should feel good. And that's making your Moon happy and satisfied. And you're resolving that tension and using this energy for good. So your action here, it may be moving something along, or it might be course correcting. Like you may have changed your mind slightly from back what you were thinking at the end of March, and that's okay. Back at the end of March, that was about planting the seed. It might need a different kind of fertilizer than you thought, or, if things are just all wrong, it's a weed, it's grown into a weed, pull it out and start fresh. That's your action. So action, that's what the first quarter is about. We're gonna reset our course and give our dreams the direction we do want to go forward with some good momentum. All right, that is the message from the Moon on this Aries first quarter. Make your move, but don't overthink it. That's how to work with it. All right, I hope you found this helpful. If you have, please share it with someone that you love who may also benefit. And I'd also love to hear from you if you feel so moved. What came up for you? How are you gonna work with this energy? What action are you going to take? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. All right, and until next week, as always, take care.